Welcome to Bros Ball and Bologna. It's just like ESPN, except with good takes and actual good analysis. So I'll start by introducing the bros. First, we got ZA. He's from the hood. Now he's in the suburbs. That's our 6-digit money man. You got any questions? He's the money guy, but as you can see, he's still dumb enough to rep the Dolphins. All right. Then in the bottom right, you got Miles. He is our semi-pro golfer. He will outdrive you and chip it closer to you. And after 30 years, he finally gets to celebrate his Bengals winning a playoff game. You got Pistachio. All right. He is our Indian. Dot, not feather. Cincinnati born. Grew up in Tennessee. And California ruined him. And then, of course, there's me, the coach. I'm a girl dad with a lot of house payments and bills. The only thing longer than my to-do list is my coaching reject list. So we're going to start. Thanks for tuning in for the first episode. You're going to learn a lot. All right, divisional weekend, one of the best weekends of football I've ever seen in my life. Each game was close. It was just all for awesome football. So the first one is the Bengals at Titans. All right, 4-seed Bengals, 1-seed Titans. All right, Miles, I'll let you start talking about your boys. What did you think of the game?
Man, it started off really hot. I love the way they started the game with that interception on the very first play, and hated the way they ended up with just a field goal, which was a huge disappointment. But the way they shut down the run slightly and didn't let Derrick Henry play his game was very, very impressive to me. And you still just know that Jamar Chase could possibly be the baddest receiver on the entire planet. That's what I just want everybody to know. This week they'll see that too. Look for Jamar Chase to be the stud.
And Jamar Chase, I freaking agree. I love it. The dude, his yak, dude, that's what makes him different. He'll catch the ball and he literally, it's like Deebo Samuel. He turns it in, he catches a screen, he goes 60 yards, something like that, gets them all the way into opposite territory like the first drive. So I completely agree on that. Derrick Henry, like you said, not really a factor. He did get in the end zone, as you see, but coming off an injury, he really didn't do much. Pistachio, what's your thoughts?
Man, I just the thought of Jamar Chase being the only rookie to have multiple 100-yard games in the playoffs is just a big thing for the Bengals. You know, just Joe Burrow has an absolute threat of a deep guy, and like you said, you know, he catches the ball and he's always looking to get more yards. He's not running out of bounds. That dude's looking to turn up and go upfield every single time. So I'm definitely looking forward to this next game. I definitely think they got it in them. They already beat them once, so let's see what they got to go.
I will say Jamar Chase is a bad motherfucker. All right. And me and Miles talked about it, but as you see, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 fucking times. 9 times in one game.
Crazy.
How?
So how do you do that to him?
Hey, listen, Sewell, all right, the tackle they didn't pick, he gave up 5 sacks all year as a rookie left tackle for the Lions. And y'all gave up 9 in one game. And by the way, Joe Burrow has got to stop running backwards. He's got to stop trying to do that. He just keeps running.
But that's also a huge reason why he doesn't throw a lot of picks.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
because he doesn't try to extend the play that much. He doesn't run around and throw it. He'll take a hit and lose yards. He maybe should throw it away, but that's what prevents him from getting picks.
Yeah, so he's finally done taking sacks, all right? But Tannehill did finally hook up with A.J. Brown, all right? And I will say that was a badass catch. And Chase, Brown, Jefferson, the receiver position is stacked for the next 10 years. But as long as we get people not like Tannehill throwing the ball, because as you see, 20 seconds left and he throws a pick. Like, how stupid is that? All right. And obviously it sets up freaking Evan McPherson kicking the game winner, icing it. Not only just kicking the game winner, but doing it with style and some swag too.
Some freaking balls, man. He had some balls.
Balls.
Guess we're going to the AFC Championship game, baby.
Exactly.
But going into that, all right, he is the player of the game. All right, Evan McPherson, obviously. Not only did he win them the game, he sent him to the AFC Championship, but you know what he had to say, and we'll let Joe Burrow give it to you real quick.
How nice is it to have a kicker like Evan McPherson? Oh, that guy's unbelievable. He said, so he was talking to Brandon as he was going out to kick. He gave a little warm-up swing, and he said, Looks like we're going to the AFC Championship right before we went out there to kick it.
All right, as we said, huge balls. All right, for a rookie kicker to do that, huge balls. Anybody else got comments on balls?
The biggest.
The biggest balls. Pistachio, what your comments on his balls?
That I want him in my mouth, man.
They're that big. He's not gay. All right, but big balls. Balls do things to men. All right, big balls.
I love it.
McPherson should take his playoff bonus and invest in a wheelbarrow. That's how big his balls are. It's insane.
Speaking of wheelbarrow, all right, here he is. Here's those big balls. All right, you see Derrick Henry looking on, all right, trying to hide. And, of course, Tannehill just in shock because his balls are not those. Those are not Tannehill's balls.
You got peanuts.
Peanuts.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
little pistachios.
So, obviously, the Bengals move on. All right, ZA, the Titans. All right, you've got Julio Jones, had the least productive season of his career. Totally different situation, though. You got A.J. Brown across from him. You got weapons for Tannehill. You've got Derrick Henry in the backfield. You got 9 sacks in a loss. What do the Titans have to do next season?
I'll tell you what. So the Titans they did survive without Derrick Henry. So I can't sit here and say Derrick Henry is the difference maker, but I truly think he is. He did come off an injury. Like I said, he had 62 yards for a touchdown. I feel like anybody else with those stats would be pretty happy with him. For the King, it's not quite the stats we look for, but coming off an injury, I'm not too mad at it. Next year, he comes back healthy. I think that offense is stacked. I really do. I think they're going to be a top offense in the NFL next year, probably top 5. I think Julio Jones another year in the system. If he stays healthy, Derrick Henry stays healthy, Brown stays healthy, it's going to be top 5 offense all around. Hard to stick with. They really need to square up their defense. Their defensive line really showed out in some games this year. I think they really need to focus on that secondary a little bit more. They got a really good safety. But besides that, they really need to square up that secondary on the defense, really focus on the defense, I think, in the draft, maybe free agency. Then they're about 2 pieces away from making it to that next step of going to the actual Super Bowl. Growing up near Tennessee, they've always broke my heart. They always get to that point, but they never get past it. And I really think they're about 2 pieces away from it right now. Their window's closing fast. They need to do it on defense. Needed to get their defense.
1 yard short. So you're trusting Tannehill.
I do. So Tannehill has if he has pieces around him,
really,
he's good. He cannot carry a team. He's not going to be Aaron Rodgers. But
you're trusting Ryan Tannehill.
Who else are you going to go with? There's no. I mean, I do believe he's like a top. Probably he's in the top half of the NFL.
I mean,
I believe that.
Is Aaron Rodgers leaving Green Bay?
Are we jumping to that already?
With the way,
that's
later.
All right, let's
give me a
is
Aaron Rodgers going?
So, hey, going on to that, talking about Aaron Rodgers. Up next, we got the 49ers, my Niners, the 6 seed Niners, going into Lambeau in cold temperatures to upset the Packers. All right, so the Niners, like I said, cold temperatures, Packers don't lose, but here comes the 49ers. All right, it's the Packers curse. I don't know what it is. Aaron Rodgers, what do you say? No, he's not as upset as the Niners will be for not picking him, right? Well, he's 0-4 against him in the playoffs. All right. And started out really hot, I will say. And watching this, the first drive, it was Devonte Adams, Aaron Jones, Devonte Adams, and then they get into the goal line and AJ Dillon punches it in here in the next play after this other physical run. I was really worried. I thought, oh shit, here we go. A-Rod's about to shred us, but we kind of buckled down. Let's go. Let's start with Miles. All right. What's your thoughts on this game?
Man, all around, I really think that after that first drive where the Niners seemed to just march down the field and score, it was sloppy offense all around for both teams, but both defenses looked very solid. The Niners locked down, wouldn't let Aaron Rodgers throw the ball down the field the way he wanted, wouldn't let him run the ball. And the weather may have been a slight factor, and for some weird reason, you would think that Aaron Rodgers would play good in that weather because he's at Lambeau. But it seems like it affected him too because it affected his passing game. And honestly,
You also got
the
Nick
Niners
Bosa.
special team. Yeah.
That
But
affected.
the Niners special team is the player of the game. We got that locked down. Like there's no way. I mean, but the Niners defense has looked so good so far in the playoffs that's what was basically the biggest thing that I've seen is that the offense did look sloppy, but the Niners played super solid after that first drive, and that's what held the game in check.
So not only did the offense play sloppy, you just saw Jimmy Garoppolo get picked. All right. One, he runs around in the pocket, and it was a reaction play. It's not, part of the route, not part of the read. He made a play reacting, and he throws a terrible pass in the red zone and cost us points. All right. I'm not talking about Jimmy right now. We'll get to that, but he has really struggled in this playoffs, but you're right. The 49ers defense, their special teams this week, as you see, they the block at halftime right here, this is huge. I think if they go up 10-0, the momentum is completely in Packers' favor. Aaron Rodgers comes out, they can run the ball, do whatever, but we get some momentum. Deebo Samuel, who I actually put in as player of the game just because of all three phases. He had the big return. He had rushing yards. He had receiving yards. And he had the big first down that really sealed it later in the game. And that's who I went with player of the game. But you're completely right. The special teams, obviously, Gold's field goal here carried the Niners, especially in this game. It was defense last week. Maybe Jimmy G gets on track next week, or what do you think, Pistachio? Does the 49ers team refuse to let Jimmy G lose?
Yeah, honestly, it's the past 2 weeks. It's been the defense, and then this past week it was special teams and the defense. Man, I'm a Niners fan too, and it's a little hard watching them struggle on offense when they used to be so good on offense.
Like the fourth down too. That was huge. We run the ball and we got stopped on 4th and 1 there.
Right.
Almost completely lost the game on that one there. But thankfully special team steps up and makes that block and really just saved our ass.
Right.
I got a question for you guys since you're Niners fans. Outside of Jamar Chase, do you think of another more valuable player to an offense than Deebo Samuel right now?
I don't think there's a question. I don't think Chase even has a race in this. It's Deebo 110%. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Chase is a better receiver. I'm not saying that. Chase is a better receiver.
He's all around athlete. He can do everything.
The Bengals have freaking big dick Joe Burrow. All right, he's a huge centerpiece. All right, he's also got T. Higgins. All right, Mixon. You have those weapons. I think Joe Burrow can make things happen, but
you looked up Tyler Boyd for some weird reason.
What?
No, I said Boyd.
That's exactly. You have that many weapons.
Tyler Boyd is ass.
About it. The 49ers.
What? Go fuck yourself.
If you take Deebo Samuel out of the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan's play calling, what do we have? Like we have our first running back's hurt, a rookie who has played hella good, don't get me wrong, but in Kyle Shanahan's run game, you're gonna play good.
Yeah, but in the playoffs right now, do you know any other player besides Deebo that you can think of that's more valuable to their team?
No,
I can't either. I think he is.
Probably not. Probably not.
No, I mentioned it earlier, but the most valuable player to their team is Aaron Rodgers. As weird and unvaccinated and creepy he can have with a Spanish weird hair, all right, he is the most valuable player. Is he playing football next year? And if so, where? All right, ZA, start us off.
If you are the Packers, you cannot let Aaron Rodgers go. They have, I think, one of the best overall rosters in the NFL right now. And if they let Aaron go, who do they have? Jordan Love? I mean, come on, man. Everybody knows he's not coming out doing anything. I mean, nobody's comfortable with him leading that offense. They don't want to show any kind of tape on him. it's a rare sight to see him come out in the game, and it's scary whenever you do, So it's kind of like seeing one of those mythological creatures you don't ever see, but when you do, you're scared of it, right? Like, because you just don't want to see that. It's very ugly. Aaron Rodgers has to stay with the Packers because where's he going to go? The only other team I can think of is Denver. I feel like Denver may be Tampa Bay before Brady. But besides that, I don't know anywhere else he's going to go that's going to have a better roster than Green Bay. I really don't. And I think they're win ready. I think Rodgers is coming to the end of his prime. And if you are the Packers, you got to go kiss his. You got to kiss his feet. You got to do whatever he wants. You got to bring him back. You have to. There's no other option.
The Packers ain't going to be doing that shit.
No,
hell no, they aren't.
So Devonte Adams is also a free agent, and he said that the only two quarterbacks he wanted to play with were Aaron Rodgers and Carr.
He's one of the Raiders.
Fresno State College.
Fuck Vegas.
College connection. All right, Miles, what's your input on the Packers offseason?
Man, everybody should know it. A-Rod is not going back to the Packers. He almost didn't go back this year. The vaccine stuff, all that stuff that compounded to it. He had to have his friends beg him to come back to that team, basically. Like Devonte Adams and Aaron Jones. Like, he's not going back, and I bet he's going to play, but I couldn't tell you which team he's going to play for. But he will play for another team next season if he plays. It would be crazy to see him retire because he's still at the pinnacle of his game. The last 2 seasons, what he's thrown, like 12 interceptions, 10 interceptions, something like that.
It's like
almost
8.
nothing.
It's like 8.
Yeah. So So he's still at the very top of his game. He's just got to pick whatever team he wants because any team that he wants to go to who can afford it, they'll gladly take him.
So
nobody's turning him away.
I'm on the boat. Is he going to be hosting Jeopardy? Or you got the Denver Broncos, like you said, a good situation, a hell of a defense, some young talent. I also thought about Washington. You've got a pretty good defense. You got some young talent, not anything special, but Aaron Rodgers can make that work.
What about the Texans?
The only way,
that's
Texans is
it's possible
for Deshaun Watson. He ain't going.
Deshaun Watson ain't playing.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Who you got there though? I mean, who's your receivers there? Who's he throwing to?
Chris Moore from fucking Cincinnati, baby.
Anybody who can catch a ball.
I tell you what, Brandon Cooks has went on like 5 teams and had 1,000 yards at least once on each of them, dude. He is so underrated.
Who they got the Stanford quarterback throwing for them right now? What's his name?
Mills.
Yeah.
Tell you what, he was actually a higher rated recruit than Tua, Herbert, and he just had injuries at Stanford. He was a stud in high school, and honestly, I love the pick. He's in a shitty situation. I think he could become something one day. But
yeah, when I heard that the Texans really liking him, I think they're going to stick with him for next year. I mean,
depends on who the coach.
They probably need to.
It depends on who the coach is.
They probably need to, just in case, for draft picks. I mean, if he doesn't work out, at least you can pick a stud.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Maybe. I'm drooling over here. Please tell me Jimmy G's next.
All right. Let's go on to Jimmy G.
We're talking about how good looking he is.
All right, Jimmy G. All right, so I talked about Jimmy G on a first episode last week that we messed up because we don't know how to make video. Well, I don't know how to make videos, but so this is actually episode 1B, guys. If you're watching, you missed some gold, but I will say Jimmy G. I've always said he's not going to win you a game. I said he's not going to lose you a game. And this playoffs, he's made me a liar. He has almost cost us the Cowboys game with an awful interception. In the Packers game, he threw an awful interception. And honestly, as a quarterback coach, since I was in 8th grade, as a quarterback, never throw late to the flat. Like, that's always a rule. There's no one back there. And that dude was freaking letting balls hang 2 seconds late. And we're really lucky the Packers, Stokes was one of them, didn't take the ball 80 yards to the house. So Jimmy G's future, I think, is very short with the Niners. unless he turns it around. If they lose because of him, he's out the door for sure, 100%. If they win with him playing bad, playing decent, he stays, I think, because his value is not very high. But if he goes out there and kills it, they may trade him away because his value's high. But he has a 12.7 yards per attempt. Saw what he could do.
In the NFL. Number 1 in the NFL, by the way.
Well, he did not bring
that.
He left that in San Francisco because he didn't bring it to Lambeau. All right. I don't know where he left that at, but it's not there. So ZA.
Yeah, when did he do that? 1 or 2 games?
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for this moment for a week now. I know last week kind of went down, but this week I got to ask you, Pistachio, you guys are Niners fans. What do you think Kyle Shanahan's record is without Jimmy G? What do you think it is?
It's like
8. Oh, this is awesome.
I would say 8. Yeah,
it's like 8-25.
It's actually
I'd
7.
I'd say around 10 games.
7-28.
7-28.
It's his record without Jimmy G.
Great stat, Alder.
I will
with Jimmy G playing. With Jimmy G playing, what do you think his record is? Go ahead.
40-14.
Come on, he hasn't played many games. Come on, he's injury prone.
30, 30,
he doesn't play.
35
and 20.
He's 24 and 10 with Jimmy G.
Damn.
Right, he's 24 and 10 with Jimmy G. So that means that he has a winning record with Jimmy G. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you honestly think that Trey Lance is going to come in and get you as far as Jimmy G has this year? You honestly think that?
I didn't think that in the beginning of the season I didn't think that in the draft when they pulled him. I wanted them to take Mac in the draft.
So I will die this statement. Taking Mac at 3 was a mistake. If we wouldn't have traded up, if we would have took him at 14, wherever we were, I would be okay with that. But trading 3 first-round pick for Mac Jones was a mistake because Mac Jones is going to be just like Jimmy G. All right. I know he's had a hot start. So did Jimmy G. I think he's going to play very smart, make smart decisions, but he's not going to make the big plays. Do I think Trey Lance is going to come in and be Aaron Rodgers? No. But you got to look at Kyle Shanahan's record, though. Okay, so he has a very good record with Jimmy G, right? What did Jimmy G do the past 3 years when he played? He handed the ball off, he protected the ball, and he had play actions for wide open shots when defenses bid on the run. And then he's had a top 10 defense every year unless people got hurt. Jimmy G gets hurt, but people don't combine the fact that when Jimmy G's been hurt, we also had other injuries at the same time. All right. Because Nick Mullins.
1 year. 1 year.
All right. So Nick Mullins was one of those backup quarterbacks. He didn't have the numbers he didn't have the wins, but he had twice as good as numbers, Jimmy G, because our defense was hurt and we sucked on defense. So Nick Mullins outplayed Jimmy G, but had more losses because he had no help.
He had a lot more opportunity.
I'm over chopping at the bit. I'm over chopping at the bit. I'm ready to go. You ready? You ready for this?
Go, baby.
Hold on. Let me get to Trey Lance real quick. I think Trey Lance, I don't think he's going to be as consistent or as safe as Jimmy G. All right. I think he may lose you a game here and there because I think he's going to be aggressive. I think he's going to take shots. And I do think if you have the same defense and you have a 2-3 year pro Trey Lance, not a rookie, but you have a little experience under his belt, you now have the play action ball, which he did at North Dakota State better than anybody in the country his junior year, where he did not turn the ball over a single time. You also now, on top of that deadly running game, you have quarterback keep. All right, so you got to think you have Niners power run game with a slower, thicker Lamar Jackson run action.
Oh my God! All right, well, we're not gonna act like you just didn't pretend that you just
slower but thicker, not the same.
Here we go.
Run action.
All right, here we go.
Run action.
If you start Trey Lance and you get rid of Jimmy G, which is gonna happen, I'm gonna tell you why in a second. But if you start Trey Lynch, your Super Bowl window, it's closed. It's done. It's done. You will not make it this far with Trey Lance. You will not. I will put however much you want on that over the next 5 years that you will not make it this far. 5 years. I'll give it to you.
I'm going to go Trey Lance will not be as consistent. Jimmy G's got us here twice now to the NFC Championship.
But also look who sat behind. Look who Jimmy G sat behind. Trey Lance is behind Jimmy G.
Right.
Come on, man. Listen. I'm a Niners fan.
I'm not saying that.
I love it.
Trey Lance has the arm to make the pass that Jimmy G didn't, and we didn't win the Super Bowl.
I'll agree with
true,
that.
But he doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the arm. All right. So he started 2 games for you guys this year. We're not going to count the Texans game, which is the last one. Texans are playing the 3rd string. They were garbage. They weren't even trying. We're not going to count that one. Okay. The one that we are going to look at is the game against Arizona that he played. Okay. And I'm going to read you his stat line. All right. And this is a true rookie. And this is what you need to expect out of him next year when he comes out, okay? Because this is what he's going to do for you, okay? You ready? This is against a real team in real time, okay? So we have week 5 against Arizona. We went 15 for 29, 51%, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception with a 58 passer rating. All right, that's against a real team, real time. That's what you're going to be expecting for the next 2 years at least out of Trey Lance, okay?
So you want to throw Trey Lance to the, at the time, undefeated top 5 defense of the Cardinals with Chandler Jones. At the time, the Cardinals fell off.
It was week 5. It was week 5. I mean,
but the Cardinals shit the bed.
Teams were undefeated.
That's the real team. That's him playing against the real NFL team.
Right. It's his rookie first start. What the fuck you expect?
Okay, it doesn't matter. He's going to be a rookie next year when he plays for you guys. All right,
but it doesn't matter that the Cardinals shit the bed.
Total difference.
This is why look, you guys will not win with Trey Lance, but this is why you have to trade Jimmy G for it. He's got to go this year, unfortunately, but he's got to go. And I'll tell you why. Because the value for Jimmy G right now is the best you're going to get for the rest of the time. Not only because he's a free agent next year, but we have to look at this, okay? Who do you think are the free agent quarterbacks coming up? Who you got? I'm just going to read you a short list because we've been on this for a little bit. You got Big Ben. He's going to retire. You let me know when you take one of these players over Jimmy G, okay? You got Ryan Fitzpatrick. You got Andy Dalton. You got Cam Newton. You got Tyrod Taylor. Famous Jameis. Jacoby Brissett. Teddy Bridgewater. Marcus Mariota. You tell me if you take any of those over Jimmy G.
No.
You would, right? Also, we're coming up in the draft. How many quarterback prospects are in the draft this year? You got one from.
I completely agree.
He's a top 20. So you have to trade Jimmy G this year to get the most value for him. So he has to go. Because guess what's coming up in 2023? He's a free agent, and then you got Kirk Cousins, you got Stafford, you got Derek Carr, you got all these players coming in 2023, and then you've got the 2023 draft coming up, where not only do we have Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, we got Will Levis from Kentucky, shout out what, and I mean we got Jaron Hall, we got Spencer Rattler. I mean we got guys that are really going to make something. He's got to go this year. That's why the Niners.
Last thing, and we got to move on for time. But I'm not comparing at all. All right, before anyone says anything, not comparing at all. All right, but Mahomes' first start. I just looked this up because he's in a similar situation. They want him to sit right. His first start, his only start, his rookie year was week 17. All right, so a game that doesn't matter, and he had a 75% or 75 quarterback rating. All right, so he's not Mahomes, but that ain't fucking good. And look what he did the next year. All right. So it's all about. I agree.
I got one more thing at the end.
I agree with you. He has to grow tremendously from now to next fall. Completely.
Enjoy this year. Enjoy this run.
You're a Dolphins fan. You enjoy Tua.
Go ahead, Miles. What you got, Miles?
Miles, get us with your last thing.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about this. One important thing about Jimmy G is how many hot celebrity chicks and porn stars has he slept with this year? That also matters for the 49ers franchise. That gets free agents.
No,
I mean, like nobody else. Have you seen the guy? Have you
No one
seen
else
the guy?
looks that good.
Valiant,
We don't
man.
want
He's
nobody else.
JB and I were probably like 20 feet from him
beautiful
in
man.
real life. And I may have
Beautiful
jizzed my
man.
pants 3 times that day. At
I
least 3.
thought I might watching him on TV. I mean, really. I mean,
I tell you what.
that's the most important thing for the Niners is free agents, and Jimmy G is going to pull them.
So moving on. All right. The next one won't take nearly as long. All right, because the only part of the game that was interested was the last quarter. Rams, Bucks. Kind of lopsided. Did get interesting. Tom Brady does what he does. ZA, let's get started with it.
Tell you what, man, Buccaneers should have won that game, man. Tom Brady should have stomped down that field, ran it down. I mean, they should have won. Matthew Stafford, he is just the rich man's Jared Goff. It makes me very, very depressed. Makes me almost as depressed as my baloney for the week, which is Odell Beckham Jr.'s contract for the year. If you have not read into this, you need to read into it, okay? He signed for $750,000. He took it in Bitcoin. At the time, Bitcoin was near an all-time high, okay, guys? I was at around $64,000. Today, right now, it is worth $36,000. He has to pay 50% taxes still on $750,000, even though it's not even worth that anymore. So after it's all said and done, he's going to be worth about $36,000 for this year. He is working for minimum wage. Matthew Stafford is worth as much as Odell Beckham's contract, which is about $36,000.
I gotta stop.
No. Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
that is the worst take. All right, because
what?
I'm gonna go back to this highlight. All right,
he got $1 million bonus.
Look at the ball that Stafford
playoffs or whatever.
All right, Stafford was throwing no looks before Mahomes. Stafford has a cannon like the top.
Oh, Stafford had Calvin Johnson is what
Stafford
had.
Yeah, and he's still a good quarterback.
Talent,
you show me fucking a Dolphins quarterback throwing for 5,000 yards.
Listen, Stafford has the most arm talent of anyone in the NFL. He was stuck on the Lions and set up
how many about Aaron Rodgers.
I didn't say the most. I said one or top. He's one of the most arm talented people. If you watch him throw, the angles, the things he does, all right, you got to think he's playing with the Lions. It's like throwing to your white ass out there. All right.
Exactly.
How many yards in his career? All right. He is now, all right, he's had some rough patches. I will give you that. Every quarterback does, unless you're Aaron Rodgers or TB12. And I'm not saying he is one of them, but pure arm talent, you've got Mahomes, you got Rodgers, you got Stafford. Brady ain't got that arm talent.
No.
Justin Herbert, let me throw him in there. I'd probably put Joey B in there as my number 5. All right, those are probably just straight.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
Jimmy G or Joey B?
Joey B. Joey
Obviously Joey B. The one who's got the huge hog. Yeah, that one.
So let's get that. I just had to get that off my chest. And at this point, I was watching this game and I thought, it's over. TB12 he's done it again. The comeback is on. But the Rams definitely blew that game. I think you're right. The Bucs deserve to win. The 4 turnovers really just kept the Bucs in the game, and they kept giving it away. But I am very glad to see Stafford succeed just because of what he's been through in freaking Detroit. 32 seconds. Stafford's about to set up the game-winning field goal. Cooper Kupp fumbled early. Really, really put him in a bad spot. But the love of the game route, as Stafford describes it, you're not getting the ball, but all-out blitz, miscommunication, Bucs blow it. Stafford, with the great arm talent, puts it out there for Kupp, and Rams walk it off and stop. All right, anybody else want to talk about this game now? Miles, what you got?
3 times in a row, within about 10 minutes of actual game time, Tampa Bay had unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on Donkey Kong Sue and Davante David and your boy and all of everybody's boy, the GOAT, Tom Brady. Those 3 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, at the end of the day, when you look at the score, whenever it's 30-27 in the game, those 3 plays, they matter so much. That may have cost them the game. And also, I wanted to point out that Leonard Fournette was the man of the game for Tampa Bay's offense. He played extremely good the entire time, opened the game with back-to-back first downs, like a 12-yard and an 11-yard run. And then caught multiple passes, extended a lot of plays, did his job. I'm just extremely upset. I bet against Tommy Boy. I said Tommy Boy is out last week as part of my hot take. But to see him lose that way was disappointing, especially with those 3 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties within like 10 minutes. You can't do that and win playoff games when it's that close. You just can't do that.
Oh yeah, that's the Cowboys. They completely screwed themselves against the Niners last week. Playoff football,
Yeah.
you gotta be disciplined. But the Rams, they took advantage early. And the difference was the Bucks did not take advantage of all those fumbles. I think that was the difference in the game. One was undisciplined with penalties, one was undisciplined with fumbles, and made it a close game, which it shouldn't have been. But Stafford, I did have as player of the game. He let him down. Couple seconds to go, TB12 ties it. You think we're going to overtime. Bucks helped it with the blown coverage, but I think Stafford probably deserved that. Playing well in big games, as we said, he struggled early, but when it matters, he's showing out. He is really, really showing out, I think, these past 2 weeks. And as a Niner fan, I think that's a worry. That's a concern for sure, is him and Kupp and OBJ.
Talking about this next game is going to worry me about my team.
Well, let's wrap this one up. All right. Tom Brady. All right. Where's he at next year? Miles, start us off.
As much as I would love to say that he's going to retire and just kind of finish it, I think his ass is coming back because he said multiple times, I'm going to play till I'm 45, and as long as I'm healthy, and as long as I feel good, and as long as I'm playing good, I'm going to keep playing. And then I feel like at one point he mentioned he might play till 50. And he keeps getting better, it seems like, with age. He's like a fine wine.
Benjamin
You can't count
Button.
out Tom Brady. He just had problems with his team at the end of this year. I mean, they fucked themselves out of that game. They should have won that game. Tom Brady's coming back next year.
I mean,
He'll be back.
The man is
He'll be
54 years old, and he threw the ball 54 times. And he's out there slinging it. 44 years old, 54 times he threw the ball. That's unheard of.
How many times has he done that this season? He's probably thrown it 45 times a bunch this season.
At least 40 times, probably 10 times this season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he'll be back next year slinging it again, and he'll probably be right back in the same scenario. He might be back in the NFC Championship next year. I mean, It's Tom. Can you count out Tom? What did he show us in that Falcons game a long time ago? 4 years ago, 5 years ago? You don't count out Tom. It's 28-3. And the Falcons falconed it, just like the Rams almost did. But it's Tom.
I think Tom Brady comes back next year solely on how they lost. First he gets his first unsportsmanlike conduct, busted lip. Brady, you get enough calls, shut up, play football. But I think, like you said, he had trouble. You had the Antonio Brown circus. You have all the injuries. About Chris Godwin, he may not be coming back next year, which really going to hurt them. But I think you'll be good enough that you have enough people, or you have free agents who want to come play with you when you're TB12 and Mike Evans and Leonard Fournette. So I do think he'll be back. I don't think Giselle's going to allow him to play till 50, but I think he'll be back at least one more time, and he's either going to go out swinging or on top. I don't think he's going to go down on some bullshit like that, that kind of performance.
He's going to grab those nuts out of that purse, and he might win 2 more Super Bowls. He'll tell Giselle that I'm making the money now. You used to be a model, and now I'm the rich guy.
Oh, yeah. Just the last point here. A lot of people will forget that Tom Brady was an MVP candidate this year. Okay, he's not. I mean, he wasn't no slump. I mean, he was a stud. I mean, he threw over for 5,000 yards, 67.5% completion rating, overall 102.1 quarterback rating for the year. MVP candidate. He's not going anywhere. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon, ask him where he's going. He's coming back next year. He's going to dominate. It depends on the health and everybody of his team.
All right, moving on.
Agreed.
Game. All right, we have the Bills at the Chiefs. All right, getting started hot. not what I thought it was, but it may have been better ending than I thought it was.
The best game I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
In my life.
I'm not saying that, but
Probably maybe the best football game ever televised.
so what I meant by it just wasn't what I thought is I thought it was going to be an offensive explosion from whistle to whistle. ZA picked the Chiefs last week, but I picked it was like a 52-45 shootout. My hot take where they're going to have 10 touchdowns combined. They had 8, but it all happened at the end. I thought the entire game was going to be just like the end. But as you see, everyone, they kind of got creative early. You know, the Bills ran the ball more. Singletary gets into the end zone. The Bills kind of took away the deep pass. Mahomes does what he does, scrambles, underhand passes, flick of the wrist. But his running really, I think, had to change Buffalo's whole mentality because here he is busting out all the way down inside their 25. You know, him running the ball became a threat early, so they couldn't set back with those 2 deep safeties protecting against Tyreek Hill. Here he is getting into the end zone running the ball. And if you notice, after the first drive, he didn't really run the ball like that anymore because the Bills stopped playing so deep and so afraid of the big shot that they actually had to have more people staying underneath to protect against that. But on the Bills side, Josh Allen played a near perfect game. The only downside was his line gave up a few sacks here and there, as you see, but absolute amazing game. The quarterback position is in great hands for another 20 years. Aaron Rodgers, when your time is over, we're going to be okay because we got some hella talent, as you can see. But Mahomes, like that back foot pass, pressure in his face. There's just some things that normal humans can't do that he does. Miles, what was your take on this game?
I mean, I was in the belief that you were that this was going to be some kind of a huge scoring game, like like a in the 40s or something like that. And the offenses were kind of cooking early, and then you found out that Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill still have that crazy connection, and that the Bills' defense that we all thought was so dominant that could stop any team couldn't handle them. It just shut them down, and especially at the end of the game when they let Patrick Mahomes march down the field that quickly to tie up the game to put it in overtime. That was extremely disappointing, and I feel really, really bad for Josh Allen because Josh Allen played a hell of a game, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, and I feel like his defense really, really let him down. And I know it's hard to stop the Chiefs, but you just kind of thought the Bills might be able to do it.
And here's my thing about the Bills is I think they've got Tre'Davious White's injured, all right? So their best cornerback's hurt. I liked what they did, their adjustment. They made Patrick Mahomes check the ball down. All right. They did. Yeah. At one time they were playing like 15 yards deep, protecting the big shot, but they still had that over the top protection on Tyreek Hill just so they couldn't take those shots. They made Patrick Mahomes take the short shots. And then it all went. I don't know what happened in the last 2 minutes. They just completely changed. Like especially on the last drive, they completely took off any press on Kelce. They left the inside completely open. But you're right. I think they did fail him late, but it's just a shame someone had to lose that game. But you can't. The Chiefs defense or the Bills defense also. You see Tyreek Hill's punt return there. They held him to a field goal there. That's huge. They also came up big.
They had their plays.
They had their plays, and you can also look at it the other way. If Josh Allen wins this game, how bad did the Chiefs defense give up on him? Because you got to think the Chiefs wise, how many times
that's not their calling card.
3rd and 20 or 4th and 20, because Josh Allen made some amazing throws just like Patrick Mahomes. So I think either way you look at it, whoever lost, you see that pass right there to take the lead. That's amazing. So is the route, but no defense was going to win this game. No way you look at it, because even the Chiefs won their defense still lost because Josh Allen put up numbers. Gabriel Davis had a career night that no one's talking about, and it was just great football. As an offensive coach, this is my football. All right, that 6-3 LSU Alabama shit, don't want to watch it. All right, that's boring. All right, I want points. All right, ZA, what's your take on this?
Man, yeah. First off, hats off to Gabriel Davis, man. I can't believe nobody's talking about that game because they lost, but man, that was insane. I was on the edge of my couch for that entire game. 4 touchdowns by receiver blows my absolutely mind. Now, what I want to read to you right now is just these stats, and this is just something that makes me smile as a football fan here. But Josh Allen, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was in the final 2 minutes of the game.
Hey, let me throw this stat. You just told me Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes threw for more yards in the final 2 minutes than Jimmy G is averaging in the playoffs, both games. Anyway, go back to it.
Point prove it. Prove it.
By the way, talking about Gabriel Davis, that catch, that route that just put them ahead, 13 seconds to go. You think yes. I thought it was over, man. I was already marking it down that it was over.
Man, that was my next point.
I was making the flyer.
Yeah, and then that defensive debacle. Exactly.
13 seconds. All I got to say is 13 seconds.
Goddamn seconds.
So here you go.
We could all get out there and do that.
All right, so hey, I just want to talk
about Mike McCarthy. It just proves that Mike McCarthy is the worst coach ever. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce had 13 seconds. He had 14 seconds.
He might be out, by the way, as well. We'll talk about him on another show. But I just want to talk about these 13 seconds. All right.
It's the worst.
On these 13 seconds, all right, the very first play, they get in bunch formation. All right. And you see Travis Kelce gets on the inside and Tyreek Hill works to the outside. All right. He's now protected himself from all this off coverage while the Bills are actually 5, 10, 15 yards and backing up on this last play, okay? So they just invited the Chiefs, who have 3 timeouts, to quickly march the ball down the field, all right? Because if you get the ball to Tyreek Hill here with all this room, you never know what's going to happen, all right? He catches the ball 0 to 60 in a few seconds, gets the ball down almost to midfield. All right, now you got 8 seconds to go. They're in the same coverage. They do have a linebacker in the middle of the field, but you have a corner playing on the sideline, all right, to stop the clock. They got 2 timeouts left. They can run in the middle of the field. Stupid mistake, defensive error right there, mental breakdown. All right, Kelce calls this from the get-go. I watched a video this morning of him telling, hey, if they're playing like that again, that seam's open. All right, and you can hear Patrick saying, hey, do it, Kels. And he instantly runs just a quick bender. He makes that corner, bite outside, turn his hips. He bends inside, all right, catches that, and bam, all right, 10 seconds. We keep saying 13, but he stops the clock with 3 seconds. So in a 10-second span in 2 plays, Patrick Mahomes marches down the field, all right, and sets up his Chiefs to kick the go-ahead overtime, or send it to overtime. And then everybody knows, especially with those offenses, it could have went. Whoever got the ball first was going to win, all right? The Chiefs got it, marched down the field, just like the Patriots did to them a few years ago. And, you know, any team is going to be vouching for a new playoff system. We're about to get to that, so don't start. Josh Allen is obviously the dude, all right? Gabriel Davis had a career night, and they both fucking lost, all right? So let's talk about those two real quick because I think they deserve it before we talk about the player of the game. Let's talk about them, all right? ZA, what you got on Josh Allen?
And Josh Allen, he's going to be – I think this is going to be the matchup to watch for the next 10 years. What to do? It's going to be the next man in Brady. The thing is, I know you have to get through a lot to get to Patrick Mahomes in AFC, especially with a healthy Lamar Jackson. But I really think this is going to be the matchup to see for the next, 5-10 years coming along. I can't wait to keep seeing it. I really just think that, Josh, oh man, we got to get into it in a little bit, but it's it's going to be the game to watch seriously for the next 5-10 years. Y'all go ahead. I know we got to get into overtime rules in a second. So
Pistachio, what you got on Josh Allen?
And me?
Yeah, Pistachio, that's you.
You cut out. I couldn't hear you. I mean, he's just a dude. He went to Wyoming, man. Like he didn't have any competition in college.
Hey, ZA, who told you about him?
I think Greer did.
Liar. 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 Miles, we'll cut it short. Sorry, Pistachio. We just got to save on some time. We all know he's a dude. Miles, you got anything real quick?
I just agree. I mean, Josh Allen's the shit. And minus what Alder said, he's going to be competing with Patrick Mahomes and blah, blah, blah all these years. I think he's going to be competing with Joe Burrow all these years. It's not going to be Patty Mahomes all the time. It's going to be Joe Burrow's going to be in there. It's going to be a battle. We have a bunch of AFC quarterbacks who are super studs now. It's going to be a show.
I think we're seeing the AFC start going over the NFC. I think it's starting to happen, man. Really,
all the guys we watched when we were kids are retiring. They're all old. They're all done. We're now old enough that we're watching the new generation of guys that we used to watch. They're going to develop into those legends that we are seeing retire.
And I will say,
we're going to see them. It's going to be Josh Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert, those guys. It's going to be those guys. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be great to see. I can't wait.
So hats off, though. I'll say Gabriel Davis was easily going to be player of the game if Bills won. 201, 4 touchdowns, playoff record. Hats off to him. Sorry, you're going home. But by the way, I think the only thing y'all said wrong is they're going to be battling to get to Mahomes because there's still just something about Mahomes that he don't lose at home in the playoffs. And I think it's going to take a lot. I'm not saying they're not going to beat him, but I think he's on top right now. Just that magic. But speaking of the magic, it also helps when you have Tyreek Hill speed, which is absolutely amazing. My favorite player to watch, most electrifying. When you put him back to punt return, tell your punter to kick the damn ball out of bounds. Because wherever he catches it, it's going to be closer to the end zone than you kicking it out of bounds. I can promise you that. And then just the man route, the beater across the middle, unbelievable. The dude was 4 yards behind the linebacker and throwing up the peace sign to him. Like the linebacker was ahead of him and he was throwing up the peace sign. He knew he was going to blow by him. But Mahomes still got to be player of the game. Dude's incredible, put up the stats, and ran the ball. But great game. One of the best games I've ever seen in my life. And I cannot wait for that to continue for the next 10 years. So, as we said, overtime rules. All right. They suck. All right. So, let's talk about it. Overtime rules obviously got to be changed. I think there's a few options here. All right. So, what I want to do is I want everybody to go through and let's see if we can get 4 options for overtime. All right. I'm putting you on the spot. All right. You can only say one. So don't give me more. All right. Pistachio, I'm going to let you start. All right. Give me one other way we could do overtime.
I think you keep it the same, but just give both teams a chance until someone scores.
Pretty simple. All right. Give them a chance. If the Bills go down and score a touchdown, they get to go again, kick off until someone doesn't score, right?
Right.
Okay. ZA, what you got? What's your overtime?
Man, so, are we going to talk more about this? And they're going to edit this a little bit?
We'll talk more about it in a second. I'll just
it's fine.
get some ideas. Maybe NFL will watch us and freaking change it. I don't know.
Okay.
Of course they will. Of course they will. Of course they will.
I truly think I think it's fine, man. I don't think change anything.
God, that was an awful answer. All right, Miles.
What the fuck?
Miles, give me an
I think you do a hybrid version of the college rules and say start them from like the 50. And then you give both teams a chance for like 2 quarters. They get, they can kick an extra point if they keep scoring back and forth. Then you make them go into, they got to go for 2. But you only do that in the playoffs. In the regular season, I understand you're trying to make sure guys don't get hurt and all this nonsense. But in the playoffs, you can't let a team lose on a coin flip. That's just bullshit. You can't do that.
So my idea is pretty.
Oliver's shaking his head like a coin flip's the decider
I'm ready
of the
for it.
fucking universe.
I'm ready.
Like,
I'm ready.
The
I'm
universe
ready.
decides who wins the game based on a coin flip. Like,
I'm ready.
That's so retarded. That's so all right. Yeah,
I agree. I hate it. I don't think you should do college because, yes, you want a winner, and yes, you want to give them a chance to match, but you're going to end up with a 74-72 LSU Texas A&M game, all right? And maybe, and I get that. It'd be cool, but you also got to think if that team goes into 74-72, like they just played a whole nother game, and then they got to go play the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship.
Yeah, and 2 weeks later,
right?
Or 1 week later, but
I think you can limit that. There's a chance you could get to that point, but it's a lot less likely. Just play the whole 15-minute fucking quarter. All right. So you can now, even the Niners pound it, you have a 12-minute drive, you still get 3 minutes to go down there and score. And if it's 0-0-0s and it's still tied in the playoffs only, leave it the same in regular season, then you play another quarter because you got to have a winner in the playoffs. But I think that gives both teams a chance 100% because no one's going to keep the ball for 15 minutes. It's impossible. Well, unless you got
time-wise, it would be faster for the expedited. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm saying it could. In majority of the time, it'd probably only go to two overtimes, and you're looking at 15 plays. I get that, but there's also a lot of them, especially in college this year and NFL, offenses have gotten a lot better and have started putting up so much more points than we looked at back in 20 years ago. It's hard for a defense to stop them inside the 20-yard line 4 times. Like, they're for sure going for it. And you've got offensive McVay and Shanahan, and you've got offensive gurus who just drop some random shit. So it could go on.
But just like they figured out the run, you don't think they could figure out the 50-yard defense? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to stop them?
I'm not saying, but you've got a lot more chance of a big play. You're already in Hail Mary territory, trick play happen. So all these NFL coaches have probably a dozen of those plays in their back pocket. So I'm just saying, either way, they've got to change it. So other than how we would change it, what's your take on this overtime game? Anything else? ZA, you wanted to talk more about
ZA wanted to, I want to hear ZA.
What's your
I did. So I just want to jump into it really quick here, but I got a crazy stat for you guys. I looked it up today. It kind of blew my mind a little bit, but Josh Allen has been, before this game, he was in 9 overtime games. Every time they go into overtime, he gets to do the coin flip. How many of those coin flips do you think he's gotten right?
6
out of 9.
0.
Huh?
0.
I said 6.
He got all 9 of them correct. He was undefeated in coin flips until the biggest game of his life. It was the first coin flip he lost. Does that now blow your mind?
That's awesome.
Does that now blow? It's an insane stat, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That coin,
I'm glad you pulled that up. That's the sickest stat I've ever heard.
I'm going to give it the other way. And I'm going to beat you, Josh Allen.
I still think the rules need to be changed. I don't think it should stay the same.
But I got to say, the reason I went change
should he not have a chance?
We're spoiled. We're spoiled. We are all a bunch of spoiled ass brats. And I'll tell you why. Because offense has taken over the game. For you to sit here and say the Bills and not have a chance to win that game is insane to me. That's taking the defense completely out of the game. It's taking the
not really.
Defense is 50% of the game
until overtime.
No, it's not.
It doesn't. Yes, it is. What do you mean it's not?
No, it's not.
In that game.
If the game started, no. If the NFL game started every week, where it was the first team that gets the ball, if they score first, they score a touchdown, it's over. If that's how the game worked, yeah, that would make sense. So why does it work like that in overtime?
Something's got to be done. All right, Josh Allen in that football game was too much fun for it to end without him getting out there and slinging it again. Okay. But overtime, nothing we can do about it. All right, Roger Goodell, give me a call. All right, I'll give you some good tips. All right, and we will get football better. First of all, we'll take the taunting bullshit out for sure. All right, we'll get football fixed. All right, moving on though, it is pick time, guys. Big time for us. Starting last week. All right. First game, Bengals and Titans. All right. We all started 1-0 on the show, guys. All right, 1-0. Everybody picked the Bengals.
Whoop, whoop.
Joey B did what he does. Okay. 49ers, Packers. Me and Pistachio. All right, 2-0. I just want to point out that ZA.
Sorry, ZA.
I just want to say that ZA said, you're going to give Packers or only Aaron Rodgers 2 touchdowns. Bitch, we gave him 1. And that was because we wanted him to be happy and not be crying the whole game. All right.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
me and Pistachio sitting at 2-0. Miles and ZA 1-1. We go to the Rams and Bucks. All right. ZA, me and Miles make the right decision. All right. And we go with the Rams. Pistachio thinks it's going to be 10-3 Bucks, and he was obviously fucking wrong. All right. So
yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, 3-1. Everybody else at 2-1 going into the Bills and Chiefs was a big game. All right, I had the Chiefs. Everybody else had the Bills. All right. So as we know, I'm the badass 4-0. The cigars for me, Joe Burrow style, and y'all are all 2-2. All right, but we got a chance.
Yeah.
We got a chance to.
Can we see whose scores were closer, like the points wise?
I don't remember what we had. But I was not the closest on any of them. Zia, y'all all were on each.
I think I was pretty close.
Y'all were all on one of them, and I think Miles had 2 of them. That was right. Y'all 2 each had 1 each. But that don't fucking matter. I'm 4-0. So going on. All right, we're gonna do our picks this week. All right, we'll start AFC's first. The first game Sunday. Bengals, number 4 Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, Big Dick, swinging it. Going into Arrowhead against the number 2 Chiefs. All right. Mahomes Magic, Joey B. It's going to be a shootout. Bengals. All right. What do the Bengals have to do? All right. Miles, I'm going to let you do this one. Tell me what they have to do to win the game.
Man, I was at the game about a month ago. We have to do exactly what we did last week or last time, but better. We know this team. We've seen them play. We have to slow down Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes and have to just go all out, raiding the ball down the field on offense, just like we did last time. That's the only way. The running thing didn't work. We have to throw the ball and slow down them. That's all we can do. Maybe get a pick, but it's all Bengals.
All right. ZA, Pistachio, anything the Bengals you got to throw in they need to do?
Defense needs to stay in the game.
I'm going to disagree with you, Miles. I think they need to run the ball. I'm not saying they can. I'm saying they need to, because that keeps Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce sitting on the sideline. All right. And that helps protect Joe Burrow, because if you only throw the ball, the Chiefs are pinned back going straight for the sack, and we know they already had trouble. The Chiefs are going to send pressure this week. Chiefs, all right? Chiefs keys to victory, all right? ZA, Pistachio, when y'all want to take that, what do they got to do?
Fuck the Chiefs.
ZA, what do you think?
They got to keep it going, man. They got to whip those dicks out like they had last week and just slap it all on them, baby.
See, I think they got to stop Joe Mixon. I think if they take him out of the game, like I just said, I think that's where they're going to have that.
Yeah. He played good whenever I watched him play.
I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying the Bengals can't. They obviously did, but I just think that would make it a lot easier on Joe Burrow if they can run the ball. Yes. Matchup-wise, I think both O-lines going to have trouble. I think the Bengals front four is going to get after Patrick Mahomes. I think the Chiefs front four is going to get after Burrow. I think both of them is going to be able to have to get around. But I think the big 2 matchups is you got Jesse Bates and Travis Kelce. You got an all-pro safety, all-pro tight end. And then you've also got the Chiefs DBs, who's weaker than the Bengals trio of receivers. So I'm thinking Travis Kelce's going to have that matchup, and the Bengals receivers have the other. It's a very even game. Let's get to these picks. All right, ZA, you are first, my man. Who wins?
snap.
Who wins the score and why?
Oh man. So dude, the Joe Burrows, I mean, he has to carry around a roll of duct tape with him at all times. I'm fully convinced just because of the size of his scrotum. We probably talk about scrotums more on the show than we should, but I tell you what, it doesn't matter. But man, oh man, after watching those Chiefs in that final 2 minutes,
Duct tape.
I think this is where the Bengals are going to get corrected. I got the Chiefs winning 37-24 in a shootout. And I got Patrick Mahomes going to win his second Super Bowl, baby. That's what's going to happen there.
We got
Sorry, Miles.
Sorry. Miles, give me your rebuttal because I know it.
I mean, I've got the Bengals winning this game 30-27. It's going to be a really close game, just like it was in Cincy whenever I watched them play. It's going to be a shootout. I watched them do things that you wouldn't think were imaginable. When you watch the connection between Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow in person, it's unreal. And guess what? They did it to him then, and they're going to do it to him again. And I have no question about it. I'm sorry, Patty. I love him. But Joe Burrow's in town now, and it's his AFC. And you're going to have to go through Cincinnati from now on.
Bengals won, Chiefs won. Pistachio, lay it on me.
I'm going Bengals 30, Chiefs 24. I just think it's going to be the defense that needs to be in the game, man. It's been a shootout both times or the past couple of weeks for the Chiefs, and it was a shootout when they played against the Bengals. So I think it's gonna be a shootout again, but the difference is gonna be that defense.
Well,
love you, Pistachio.
We're gonna make it even. All right, ZA,
ZA's over here fucking
I'm a
leaning forward.
34-27 Chiefs. All right, and I'm gonna go solidly off of O-line play. I think Burrow has an amazing game. I think he has a good completion percentage. I think Chase has a great game. I think we put up points, but I don't think the Chiefs, another week of all those blitzes they're going to get, I'm going to go 34-27 Chiefs. All right, going to the NFC. All right, we've got the number 6 Niners at the number 4 Rams. Okay, round 3. Let's start Pistachio. Give me the 49ers keys to victory.
Man, it's which JG is showing up. That's the real question, you know. We're gonna get JG for 4 quarters, or we're gonna get him for 2. Shit, if he's there for 4, I'm hoping he's gonna pull out the win for us. It's really up to him, and because I already know the defense is gonna be taking care of business. So it's really what is he gonna do?
Miles, ZA, what do the Niners need to do?
Man, I really think the Niners have to find a way to slow down that front four of the Rams. I mean, the last 2 weeks they have absolutely demolished both teams until the fourth quarter of obviously the Bucs game. But they've looked dominant. They've gotten after every quarterback. They made the Cardinals look retarded. I mean, it was terrible. I think if the Niners can figure that out, Jimmy G can get past them and they can score. The Niners could win this game.
ZA, anything else the Niners need to do?
Yeah, I mean, besides letting Jimmy G play with his helmet off, because man, he's a good-looking guy. I really just think that they need to really, really pound the ball. That's going to be a key. Deebo Samuel with being in the backfield, I think is going to be huge for him. Last week I gave you guys a prop bet of Scotty Miller going over on his receiving yards of 39.5. He was 1.5 yards short. Can you believe that? 38 yards. He was 1.5 yards short. But this week I'm going to give you a winner, a guaranteed winner.
What is it?
Even though I'm on Jimmy G's, it doesn't matter. All right. He has an over-under of 232.5 passing yards. I'm taking the under. I think Deebo Samuel takes it all in the backfield. I think that's a lot for Jimmy G right now, especially against that team. I'm taking the under on that one, just so you know.
All right. So I agree. All right. Jimmy G has to not turn it over. Miles, they have to control that front four. And I think the way they do that is run the damn ball. All right. Pass pro wise, Trent Williams, I trust fully. All right. On the left side, the right side's where I'm scared, because that's Jimmy G's face side as well. So if they bloody his lip like they do Brady, boys, we're flying out to freaking LA and whipping Aaron Donald's ass. All right.
But hey, he'll get a lot more kisses
Like a
for that
pipe
bloody
or
lip.
something, because we're gonna need it, all four of us on him. Rams. All right, Rams keys to victory. All right, who wants to start us off? What do you got? What do the Rams got to do?
I mean, I just know that the Rams need to keep that pressure coming from that front four. I mean, it's been incredible. And you also need to make sure you keep incorporating Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee. They're incredible, and Cooper Kupp is almost unstoppable. And then you've got the resurgence of Cam Akers coming back miraculously from 8 months ago from the Achilles tear, and he looks amazing.
Absolutely.
Keep running that offense. And Stafford needs to keep playing big in the moment and not let it get to him. I kind of think at the end of that game with the Bucs, I think he got a little nervous a little bit partway through that second half and then finally kept it going at the end. You know what I mean? Like he found his footing, but he got a little nervous, it seemed like.
ZA, Pistachio, any tips for the Rams?
Yeah, I think the more pressure on JG is going to make him fold. So I think if they can keep that pressure on him throughout the game, it's probably in their bag.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just want to echo both of you guys. I mean, those are great points. I completely agree with them. I think you got to pound Cam Akers. He's looking amazing. I think that front four for the Rams, you got to get after him. You got to blitz him all night on Jimmy G. So you got to stop it. You got to just probably, I would take Ramsey and just put him on Deebo all night, no matter where he went. Even if you got spy him in the backfield, that's what I would do with him. But I mean, that's what I think they have to do to win this one.
So I agree. I think they got to get pressure. But I think to do that first, they got to take away the run game. If they force Jimmy G to throw the ball 30 times, I think the Rams are going to win the game. If they keep him to 20-24, I think the Niners can control the clock, control the game. Also, the turnover battle, Akers is going to be huge against the Niners' run defense, but he's got to hold on to the ball if they want to win. Because the Niners, Brady's going to throw the ball, and the clock's going to stop. If that's the 49ers, they're going to run the ball, and that time's going to click away, I think, and that's going to limit possessions. And then the other thing, Miles kind of mentioned it with Higbee. I think Higbee or OBJ, one of them have to have a pretty decent game. Devonte Adams had a big game for the Packers, but no one else helped him out. Aaron Jones did, Tommy running back wise, but he had a lot of receiving. But I think they need another receiver to kind of open it up for them, OBJ or Higbee one. But matchup wise, I think Alder pointed to the number one matchup is going to be Ramsey and Deebo. I don't think he follows him in the backfield. I think you keep him on Ayuk. That way you take that away. Because he's not that much of a receiving threat because he does run the ball like a running back. But I think that's going to be a huge matchup. The other two I have that I'll let y'all talk is Kittle and the Ram safeties. Weddle, I think is probably going to be the one who plays on him a lot, or Johnson, either one of them flipping on Kittle. Kittle has to win those individual matchups. And the last one is going to be, I think, Bosa and Andrew Whitworth. Brady's 44, but still the most impressive NFL player is Andrew Whitworth, who's 40 years old, playing left tackle at a high level. Dude's blocking people like Nick Bosa and Jason Pierre-Paul in the playoffs, playing at a high level at 40. So shout out for him, because that is truly amazing for what he's doing. But
Ex-Bengal
for sure. I'll let y'all touch on matchups or anything y'all think that is going to be big.
I just have one thing, and that's all I got to say. I forgot to mention we needed to talk about the resurgence of Odell Beckham Jr. now that he's with the Rams is that once again, everybody kind of wrote him off because he was playing for that Browns team that may not have everything going.
Awful.
Agreed. But look at Odell. Now looking like a great receiver again. Whenever everybody's like, oh, it was Odell, like he's a diva, blah, 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 blah. Now he's a stud again. I mean, he's played so good the last 2 weeks. I mean,
I agree.
I never lost faith. I just wanted everybody to remember that Odell has had his resurgence. We should respect him again.
People just don't like him because they think he's an asshole.
I agree. I think he's back. I don't think he's all the way back. He's not to where he will be or where he was, but he's got Cooper Kupp, on the other side sharing targets. But I agree. I think he is back. Baker was the damn issue. Stick to commercials. Cleveland, move on. All right, so let's go.
Fuck Cleveland.
All right, NFC. All right, let's do our picks. All right, ZA, Rams, Niners. Let's have it.
Oh, boy.
So I tell you what, man, even though Kyle Shanahan has McVay's number, which I don't think we touched on enough this year, this podcast, but beating a team that good 3 times, I think is not only hard, I think it's impossible in the NFL. And I don't think it's going to happen. I took the Niners away last week. They won out. I'm going against them again this week, even though I think Jimmy G is the answer and you're going to get rid of him. But I have got the Rams winning this in pretty much a blowout, 29-13. I don't even think it's going to be a game. I think it's going to be a sleeper. I'm going to drink a couple beers, go to sleep early, probably after the second quarter. We'll see what happens, though, okay? But I will let you know they got Cam Akers at a 59.5 rushing yards right now, over under. I would almost take the over on that. I don't know. Just saying. Just as a betting guy. It's a little high, but I'll take it.
ZA goes with the Rams. Just so y'all know, he's not going to drink a real beer. He's going to drink some kind of IPA Monster Mash. Freaking. Yeah, exactly. So moving on, Rams, Niners, what you got?
Man, it was a really, really hard decision because I could see it going both ways. But the way I'm seeing it is that Rams front four is going to be too much for the Niners to handle, and especially Jimmy G. I don't think he's going to be able to get the ball off. I think it's going to be a 27-16 Rams win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's my number, and I just there's no way I just don't see the Niners offense being able to do anything. I don't know. They could, but I just don't see it.
2-0 Rams. Pistachio, what you got?
I mean, what do you mean? Look what happened on January 9th. Shit, they put up 24 or 27 points. Yeah, I get it. I mean, 3 times is a lot in one season. I don't think it's happened a lot ever. But I'm staying true to my Niners, dog. I'm taking them 27-17, baby.
2-1. Yeah. And I'm going to join you to make it a 2-2 Pistachio. 30-24 Niners. All right. I think it's close. Honestly, that's what I'm going with. But I think it's either going to be a close Niners win for number 4 or number 3, or I'm going to go with y'all in a blowout. I don't think there's no 49er blowout. I do think it would be a Niners close win or a Rams blowout. Because I think it all depends on us running the ball. But I'm going to go 30-24 Niners. Niners taking this one. Going back. Repeat of the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Niners from a few years ago. Last segment of our show, guys. Okay? We're going to go on to our favorite, our sponsor. All right? It is time for the Hot Burger Takes. All right, if you're ever in Murray, Kentucky, go down to High Burger, get you some delicious food. We're going to start our Hot Burger Hot Takes. Miles, what do you have for us today?
Well, I'm going to start with my Cincinnati Bengals team. We're playing the same team that we played earlier this season, and Joe Burrow played incredible, and Jamar Chase did as well. I'm going for Joe Burrow going for over 400 yards, getting 3 touchdowns, as well as Jamar Chase having 150 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns.
Hot takes. All right. Pistachio, what you got for yours?
Well, I only got one hot take because I'm not an overachiever, but I got Debo on 100 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving with down in each. So let's ride, boys. It's a hot take from fucking another planet.
I'm gonna join you. All right. I have been on his balls. Okay. I have thought he's been the issue. All right. My boy Jimmy G is coming through. Okay. He's coming through today. He's raising that trade stock. All right. He's going for a second rounder this free agency. And in the championship, all right, for the 3rd time in a row, he's going to beat the Rams. And Jimmy G going for 270 plus and 3 touchdowns.
Hey.
Damn right, Jimmy G. He's gonna play as good as he is handsome. ZA, what's your hot take?
Before I go into the hot take, I want to let you know if Jimmy G wins this game, I will add him to my wall of fame. All right. I will get a Jimmy G jersey and hang it up there just for you, okay? Because I don't know. I'm all about Jimmy G. I think he's
for one game. For one game.
I just don't think dude, if he beats this Rams team right now, I'll buy the jersey and I'll hang it on my wall. Jimmy G, baby. But mark it on the tape. Anyways,
I'll pay
here we
go.
Here we go. Because even though, like I said, even though I think Jimmy G is your answer right now, and I really think he could win you guys a Super Bowl with the team you have right now, he's not going to carry a team. But my hot take for the week is that I am thinking the Rams or defense is going to absolutely destroy. I think they're going to have a defensive day. I'm talking a 30 to 40 point day in fantasy. I want them to have a forced fumble, a touchdown, an interception, and a safety. They're going to have all of them. All of them.
That's hotter than my fucking take. What the fuck?
I think it's happening. And then also
the Rams playing mad rookie.
Sound the alarm. Here goes the bet your mortgage bet of the week. Since I love to give these bets out and I love to lose your money. Contrary to what my mother effing guy Pistachio has to say, the over-under for Deebo Samuel rushing this week is 42.5. I am taking the under. I don't think he's going to rush that much against the Rams. I don't see him rushing. I think they're going to use him more in the passing game. And I don't think they're going to use him that much in the
fucking ball. Fuck.
42.5, taking the under. Bet your mortgage on it. I'm out. I'm losing my money. I'm getting Jimmy G on the wall, hopefully. But the Rams defense having a day.
All right, guys.
You don't want no Jimmy G jersey.
I think your pussy increases by like 15% if you have a Jimmy G jersey, just because they think.
I already ordered one.
I hope so.
I already ordered one.
All right,
it's on the way. It'll be here like tomorrow, I think.
Tomorrow?
I think so.
Of him. I was going to carry it around, put it in my passenger seat so I can drive by real slow and honk. Like, hey, baby.
Going on the wall, baby. Going on the wall.
All right, guys. It's been fun. All right. We have a 2-2 on both picks. All right. Hopefully, championship round's just as fun as last week. All right. We'll do this again. We'll see what we know. All right, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Bros out. Have a good night.
Love you, boys.
See y'all next Wednesday.
Nice to see y'all.
Good night.